Hey Steelers fans, and welcome back. Today we've got some major news breaking out of Pittsburgh. Cornerback Cameron Sutton has been hit with an 8-game suspension for violating the NFL's personal conduct policy. This comes after Sutton entered a pretrial diversion program to resolve a domestic violence case. We'll dive into the details of his charges, the impact on the Steelers, and what this means for Sutton's career moving forward. Stay tuned to Herald Combat. Pittsburgh Steelers cornerback Cameron Sutton has been handed an 8-game suspension without pay for breaching the NFL's personal conduct policy, the league announced on Monday. Sutton can return to the team on Tuesday, October 29th, after the Steelers' Week 8 matchup against the New York Giants. According to court records, Sutton, 29, entered a pretrial diversion program in April to settle a domestic violence case. He was charged with misdemeanor battery after turning himself in to the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office on March 31st, following weeks of being sought by the police. The NFL said an investigation of the incident found that Sutton violated the personal conduct policy. Sutton is not appealing the punishment. He was with the Lions at the time of his arrest, but Detroit released him after learning of the warrant for his arrest. At the time of his release by the Lions, Sutton was 1 year into a 3-year, $33 million deal signed in 2023. Sutton started every game in his lone season in Detroit, recording 1 interception, 1 forced fumble, and 50 tackles. The warrant was issued March 7th after police in Florida responded to a call at a house where Sutton allegedly battered a woman before fleeing the scene. He signed a 1-year contract with the Steelers last month. "My job is not to appeal to someone else," Sutton said last month when asked about his message to fans who might question his alleged actions. "My job is to be the best version of myself. And how do I give that off to the mass? Or how do I give that off to everyone around me? I'm in full control of that. So I'm never worried about a narrative. I'm never worried about what necessarily people say, because obviously, more than likely, they don't know me more than anybody else. It gets back to just your foundation, your morals, who you are individually as a human being, and just what you stand on. Holding my head high. Everybody goes through adversity. Everybody goes through things in their life that can change in both directions. So it's all about how you stand on that and what you do from that." Prior to joining Detroit, Sutton spent the first 6 years of his career with the Pittsburgh Steelers, where he served as a starting cornerback. In his final season with Pittsburgh in 2022, he recorded 3 interceptions. Christian McCaffrey, Breece Hall, lead top 10 FLRB rankings by Coaches XX. San Francisco 49ers star Christian McCaffrey has been named the top running back in the NFL for the 2024 season. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler conducted a survey involving nearly 80 league executives, coaches, and scouts to rank the league's top 10 running backs. McCaffrey secured the number 1 spot, with New York Jets tailback Breece Hall coming in second. "He does everything exceptionally," a veteran NFL offensive coach said about McCaffrey, per Fowler. "Explosiveness, vision, technique, versatility, great teammate, hardest worker, dedicated in the offseason. The only thing holding him back was when he was hurt. But he's exactly how you would draw up a football player." Cleveland Browns running back Nick Chubb and new Philadelphia Eagles tailback Saquon Barkley earned the next 2 spots on the ranking, while Jonathan Taylor of the Indianapolis Colts rounded out the top 5. McCaffrey earned the first Offensive Player of the Year award of his career in 2023, accounting for 2,023 total yards from scrimmage. He concluded a streak of 17 consecutive games with a touchdown in Week 8, tying an NFL record. McCaffrey also racked up 268 rushing yards and 152 receiving yards in 3 playoff games, helping the 49ers make a Super Bowl appearance. Hall is poised for a breakout season with Aaron Rodgers back under center, as he recorded 994 rush yards in 2023. The former second-round pick is also a threat as a receiver, hauling in 76 receptions for 591 yards and 4 touchdowns. "Natural rusher with acceleration through the hole," a high-ranking NFL official said about Hall via Fowler. "He's got power and can create his own shot by making someone miss." Chubb held the number 1 ranking among league personnel heading into the 2023 season, although a severe knee injury in Week 2 ended his year. He appeared to be on the verge of his 5th straight Pro Bowl campaign before the injury. racking up 170 yards on 28 carries. As the Browns attempt to build on their 11-6 record in 2023, a bounce-back season from Chubb could help them make consecutive playoff appearances for the first time since 1989. Joe Burrow predicts Bengals will reclaim AFC North in 2024. I'm going to give people something to talk about. Joe Burrow appeared in only 10 games in 2023 due to injury. That's the second time in 4 seasons he missed a substantial portion of the season. As a result, the Cincinnati Bengals quarterback feels he is being underestimated going into 2024. On the Pardon My Take podcast, Burrow promised to give people something to talk about this year and predicted that the Bengals would reclaim the AFC North title after ending last season at the bottom of the division. That's what happens when you get hurt, Burrow said. You don't play football, people forget about you. I love the spot I'm in. You're not out there, people aren't watching you, then there's nothing to talk about. So I'm going to give people something to talk about this year. I'm excited. Asked to project the AFC North standings, the Pro Bowler was blunt. Bengals first, and then I don't care. Expect the confidence to carry over onto the field, with Burrow also going as far as teasing a homage to the infamous touchdown celebration executed by Randy Moss back in 2005, when the Hall of Fame wide receiver pretended to moon the Lambeau Field crowd as a member of the Minnesota Vikings. I think I might. Maybe if I get a rushing touchdown this year, I might bring back the fake moon, he said with a smile, later suggesting he'll pull out the celebration on the road against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Burrow mentioned that he has benefited from additional recovery time at the end of the 2023 season while rehabilitating from wrist surgery. He aims to lead Cincinnati back to the playoffs after a 9-8 finish last year. Burrow previously guided the Bengals to consecutive AFC Championship games in 2021 and 2022, reaching the Super Bowl in just his second NFL season. When fully healthy, he is widely regarded as one of the league's top quarterbacks, having thrown over 30 touchdown passes in each of his conference title runs. The Pro Bowler also has the entire NFL's health on his mind when he suggested his ideal iteration of the league's schedule should the regular season be expanded to 18 games. Part of Burrow's recommendation included borrowing from the NBA's calendar and using an entire week during the season for the Pro Bowl events, which would act as the player's second bye week. 18 games? Gotta have 2 bye weeks, Burrow said. I think it would be cool to do a normal bye week schedule that it is now, have it spread out, but then like week 13 do the Pro Bowl break where you're doing like the 7-on-7 and all the skills challenges like the NBA does, because I think that would get more ratings for the Pro Bowl. Then it would also give everybody that bye week going into like the last 6 games of the year. Then you would have guys that are injured that would be able to potentially come back. And you want your best players out there as a league. You want them in the last 6 weeks of the season. You want your best players on the field, so I think that would be a smart idea. Burrow also advocated for this format back in May with local media in Cincinnati, highlighting his passion for the topic. Perhaps he and Commissioner Roger Goodell need to get on the phone together to discuss his proposal in depth.